In this video, we're going to create a different style of print and cut than the pictures inside the text. This particular print and cut is just a design that we've already traced and created in Illustrator. I've taken the pen tool and I've drawn my entire design. Now, what I want to do is I want to create a sticker with just a little bit of white showing around the outside of this design. So, like I said, I've already drawn this, I've already pen tool and created this with Illustrator, made it the colors I want to create. I've grouped my entire selection together. So I have my layer one with my group right inside here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a copy of this group. I'm going to hold Alt and I'm going to drag it right down below itself. So that way I have two copies, I have two groups. Again, I hold Alt and I drag it right below itself so that I have a second group. I'm going to lock the top group. From here, I am going to go and create a stroke around the outside for the amount of white that I want to show up on my sticker. So I'm going to activate my stroke. I'm going to give it a kind of a bright color so I can see it as I make it larger. So I used magenta. I'm going to go over here to my stroke palette and I'm going to turn my stroke up so I have the amount of white that I want. So outside of my black, there's going to be this amount of white from my sticker. 10 points looks pretty good. Looks like a decent color stroke, so that's what I'm going to leave it at. I like to have it rounded so that these corners, there's no sharp corners, so that's right here, and this one is called corners, round join. So it makes the corners a little bit more round and curved. I'm going to go to Object, Path, outline the stroke because I actually need a line out there. So now there's a path line out here, but I've also created a lot of path lines everywhere else. Because remember, the vinyl cutter only cares about the path line. From here, I'm going to go to Pathfinder Unite. So I'm going to join all those path lines together, but I still have these extra weird things out here. Now, it made his face look a little weird and a little different. We'll fix that. All I'm looking for is this outside path line. So again, I'm going to go to Object, Compound Path, Release. So now it really looks funky. Again, Pathfinder Unite. Now I only have that path line around the outside, which is great because that's where I want the vinyl cutter to cut, is out here. From there, I'm going to go to Swatches. My stroke already is nothing. Now I need my fill to be nothing. I want no stroke and no fill on my cut layer. Go to my Layers palette. I only have one layer, so I need to add a new layer. I'm going to double-click the word Layer 2, and I'm going to call it Cut. Make sure it's a capital C. I'm going to go to Layer 1. I'm going to label it, double-click, and label it Print with a capital P. Now I can just grab this path, drag it up here to the cut layer, and I have my print inside my print layer, like my actual grouping inside my print layer, and then my cut path that I just created goes inside my cut layer. I need to make sure I unlock that so that way when we create the document we can move everything over. Now, this is my sticker. This is what I'm looking at. This outside piece here is where it's going to cut. Remember, it has no stroke and no fill. So if I need to resize it, I need to make sure that I click and drag with my selection tool. So that way I can click and drag and make it smaller. If I hold Shift, it'll keep it proportionate. If I hold Alt, it'll make it bigger or smaller from the center. Okay, right now up on the top right hand side of my cursor, it's telling me how big it is. So about 3.5 wide by 3 3/4 by 4 tall, it looks like. So that looks like a good size. To truly tell what size it is, if I hit Control P or File Print, this is what size it will be. And I can hit Print to make sure that it's the size that I want it to be. Once that's done being printed, then I can take, if I want to make it bigger, I can make it bigger. If I want to make it smaller, I can make it smaller. From there, we're going to save it. So first of all, I need to go to File, Save As, and I need to save it in you guys will have a folder. We created this on the left-hand side over here are your shortcuts. So I saved it in my folder already, which is your folder. Now from there, I'm going to go to my name. If you click on my name, and then you find the print and cut folder, and then you find the student print and cut name. Now from here, I'm going to save it as Mr. Bowers, or in your case, you'll save it as your name. So hit save. I've already done this, so yes, I'm just going to replace it. If you have multiple, then you'll have to save it as, like if you already saved one with your name, then I can say, all right, this is my second one. My other one was a snowman. This one's my Santa Claus. So I can say Mr. Bowers 2 because I have 2 in there. The other one was, like I said, a snowman. This one's my Santa Claus. Now, from there, you'll need to go to my website. So you'll go to KimberlyTechEd.com. That will take you here. You'll go to graphics. You can go either one. It doesn't matter. Screen printing, printing. The link is in both places. Find the print and cut list. That will take you to here. Now, in here, I am going to write Mr. Bowers 2 because my other one, like I said, was just Mr. Bowers. So that one was my snowman, and I actually want 3 of these stickers. Okay, so if whatever your file name happens to be, that's what you label it here. Maybe you said Mr. Bowers Snowman or Mr. Bowers Santa, then that's what you would type, whatever your file name is in that folder. In this case, I saved it as Mr. Bowers 2, and I want 3 of them. If you just want one, you can type 1, and we'll just put 1 on there for you. Okay, so cut with a capital C. Your cut layer should have no stroke and no fill. There should be no stroke and no fill on your cut layer.